If I had known these before I started a business, it might have turned out differently. So nowadays, with all these young entrepreneurs, you know, everyone wants to make money and do it in a way which suits them and they're passionate about. So did I. I still do, but I had a proper go at it, and yeah, I just thought it'd be useful for people who, you know, maybe are studying business, or people who want to do business, to kind of watch this and see some things where I could have improved on, and they could as well if they do these things. So firstly, I'm going to tell you what my business idea was, which I'll enjoy because who doesn't like talking about their business idea. Secondly, I'm going to tell you what happened to it, how it, well, you already know it didn't work out. And lastly, I'm going to tell you my delivery. Hold on. And finally, I'll share with you what I wish I knew before I started having a go at it. Right, so this is the idea. It is called Escape Story, and the idea of my business is sort of like a social media for people who travel. The idea is that you're gonna post a status about where you've been. It's kind of gonna look like this and a bit more, if it was in a bit more detail. And when someone opens it, and instead of talking about, you know, your cat's cheeseburgers, you're gonna hopefully inspire other people to go out and travel with you, you know, because to travel to this place where you've been. Because the idea came from where I'd kind of go abroad, and when I come home and talk to my friends about it, I'd really enjoy doing that and seeing them kind of, wow, really? So wouldn't it be great if everyone had that, had a platform, an outlet for them to kind of talk about where they've been and just get other people to go there. So anyway, you're gonna post the thing. It's gonna look like this, you know, blah blah blah, details, photos, videos, comments, you know, look, username, and so it's gonna have like a nice little Google Maps kind of plug in there where you could see where it is in the world, how much you spent, what's the minimum you could go on a holiday there for, to kind of give people who are more looking for a budget, you know, budget traveling, what dates I went, so they can think it relative to the climate, you know. And the sort of things that I wanted people to talk about was like, what's the best thing you spent money on, the worst thing you spent money on, the most interesting person you met, the coolest place, like the place with the best atmosphere, and that kind of thing. This is like how you'd post a story, what it looked like. This was all live, by the way, but this is like a normal profile. If you go on someone's profile, here's a photo of my friend there. Yeah, when you like log in, yeah, and I made all this in Photoshop, and then so I paid a company to make it into like interactive internet web page. This is, I guess this is like the cover page where you see all the stories, and you could, so it's going to be called Escape Story, and you could like search, filter it via the newest, most popular. That's, I think I got that off Imgur. Little bits on the side, and it was going to be like, I was going to be able to kind of run the servers and stuff through ad revenue and things. Yeah, so here you've got like, that's an adventure. An adventure like escape, because different categories. That's like the likes, the comments, how much it cost me. I think that would be the title. There's some tags up there at the top, a brief like thing of the thing. So what happened to it? Well, I paid the company. I found a company, and I paid them to kind of make it into reality. They gave me a 6 to 8 week time until completion. Long story short is that a year onwards from the project starting with them, we were still kind of emailing back and forth. And one day he just stopped replying. So that was that. But here's the lessons I've learned and things that will save you the hassle, or you can get further than I did. Yeah, the first thing is before you start making things, you have to do a hell of a lot of research. And I think this is something I skimmed past. You have to research it so well that you have to be like almost an expert in the field. Because if you just set off rolling, you're gonna start encountering obstacles, and maybe the idea is not gonna seem so good anymore. So what I recommend you do is spend at least a month of daily kind of researching it and literally find out everything you can about it, from like how it's gonna actually make money. It can be a slippery slope in terms of you could research forever, and you will be, once if it gets going. But at least set aside at least a time limit of a month. Be like, by the end of this month or next month, I want to have it down. I will be starting making it, so I want to give myself as much of a chance to have a good foundation as possible. And the plus side of doing that month of research is that if you find out it's not something you like doing, well, that's good as well, because you can actually move on to the next thing that you might be even more passionate about. All right, tip number 2, research the competition. So one of the reasons why I thought this was such a good idea and I was in such a rush to do it is because it had never been done before. Turns out it hadn't been done before, and I only found out, way into the process, that there was another company that was doing it. I can't actually find them because it looks like I can't. That's how well hidden they are. But they were getting they were having like 70,000 new posts every week and stuff, so had a lot of competition, and it was really disheartening because here I am thinking that I'm making these great new advances in social media and connecting travelers together, inspiring people to go travel, and it turns out that it's already been done. Don't let that discourage you, however, because you could always niche it down. For example, mine was really colourful, and I intended to target younger people. But perhaps if I had known that, then I could have started with that targeting earlier on. So yeah, tip number 2, research your competition. Tip number 3, when dealing with another organization, if you're paying for a service like I did, or maybe a product to manufacture, make sure you meet the person responsible for the end product, whether that's the boss or whatever. Meet them face to face would be the best, because that way you could really get a feel for the person. But if they're in a different country or something, then a Skype call, video call, at the very least a phone call. Do that, because then you're going to establish a rapport, and you're actually going to see if you're going to want to work with this person, because there's so many other people who would offer this, who could offer this service for you. I was lucky enough to actually have a friend working for the company, so I didn't have to do any of that. Wrong. So basically, I did have a friend working for that company, but it turns out that the boss of the company wasn't really interested in creating the desired product by the clients. He was just interested for the money. So he had no problem in just killing my dreams. Which brings me to another point. When they do give you a contract to sign, and they should, and if not, you should request it, make sure both parties sign it. I only signed it, he didn't, so I think if he did, he would have been more accountable. 5, be interested. Well, this is kind of 5. It's 4. Find out how the company that you are paying a product or service for works. Because I was under the impression that they were going to code the whole thing for me. which is for an idea of that scope, it's necessary. But what they were doing is they were just using WordPress and plugins to kind of MacGyver it. So it wouldn't have worked the way I wanted to, you know. And had I known that, you know, I would have definitely not gone with them. So when you have that chat with the person responsible, make sure you find out, you know, how are you guys gonna do this? You know, is there any better ways? Challenge them, because you're investing your time and your money into this thing that you want to create. So make sure that you're doing it in the best way you can. All right, last one, 5. It's about momentum. So I found out that creating something out of nothing, such as starting a business, you know, an entity which did not exist before, takes time and commitment and dedication and love and passion. When I was working on this project, I would put a few hours here or there, you know, once a week or whenever something needed to be done, just to, you know, keep it going, keep it moving. But, and maybe it's the result of doing all these 30-day challenges, but I found out that consistency is so key, that if you really want to create something, you have to be putting time in every day, even if it's an hour. But there has to be some kind of momentum. You have to keep the ball rolling, and you're gonna have to for a long time. There would have been a much better quality in what I produced. For example, the people, you know, that were working for me, it could have inspired them, and it could have showed them that I'm serious about this, and I'm not just some teenager who, you know, has this crazy idea and hasn't thought it through. You know, if I shown commitment, who knows what would have happened. Well, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Questions, post in the comments, subscribe, because it inspires me to make more videos, and yeah, hit a like if you liked any of them. Why don't you, if you are doing like a business degree, you have any experience, or you want experience in business, why don't you write down a comment for me and let me know if I was right or wrong about these, or if there's something, you know, that teach me, senpai, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, the video's done. Goodbye.